Okay, hopefully you learned a whole lot in this lesson and you had no real trouble filling out this concept map. Let's actually start here in the center, monogenic traits, and we'll just say that they're caused by alleles in single genes. And we learned about alleles and genes more in lessons 3 and 4, so if you want a refresher, you can go back there. Let's take the traits in the order that we discussed them in the lesson. A monogenic trait, one example is red-green color blindness, which is inherited and caused by an X-linked allele. The gene is located on the X chromosome, and we know that it is something and something. Most likely from the given word bank here, we're looking for words like gain of function, loss of function, and dominant or recessive, but the question is which one goes in which box? Well, it's whichever one in this box it has in common with osteogenesis imperfecta. So let's go down this route. Osteogenesis imperfecta is inherited and caused by an autosomal allele, right? It's not on a sex chromosome, it's on an autosome. Now, osteogenesis imperfecta was dominant but loss of function, and red-green color blindness was recessive and loss of function. The one thing they have in common is the fact that the allele was loss of function. So we know that belongs in that box there. This means for red-green color blindness, recessive belongs in this box, which is what it has in common with sickle cell anemia. And we know that if something is recessive, then in its heterozygous state, the individual would be unaffected, and only when the individual is homozygous are they actually affected. Now, this was also true for sickle cell anemia, which is also inherited and caused by an autosomal allele, not on a sex chromosome, but on an autosome. Sickle cell anemia is recessive, but a gain of function. And sickle cell anemia has this property in common with achondroplasia, which is also inherited and caused by an autosomal allele. The allele that causes achondroplasia is gain of function and dominant. It shares this dominant status with osteogenesis imperfecta, even though osteogenesis imperfecta was a loss of function allele. Now, dominant alleles, if they're heterozygous, then the individual is affected. And in these particular cases, as is true for some other dominant traits, the homozygous version is actually lethal.